Alright, welcome everybody. I tried to record this outside, but it's too noisy. There's airplanes. It's like a parade of airplanes. Anyway, I asked some questions on Twitter. I said, I'm interested in making videos on comics discussions / debates. What topics are on your mind lately? And I'm going to read through these in sort of a lightning round session. We'll see how this goes. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think about any of this in the comments below for sure. And before we get into it, please do check out Dracula. It's in the link in the description below. We've already passed $15,000. Excuse me, I'm sick. You can help us by being one of the first 300 backers, and you will get a special trading card if you're within that 300 that everybody else won't get. All right. So I'm interested in comics discussions and debates. First question was humans. Why? I'm going to go ahead and skip that one. Next question is, what is characterization? That's a great question with writing. And without looking at a dictionary, I'm going to say that it is what makes up, it's how you build the character of your character. So that could be the building blocks, these are the ways that you show who they are and what is going on underneath the hood of every character. There's a lot more to it than that, but there is my off-the-cuff definition. Next comics, this is from Nimprod Comics, and he says, should SJW comics be attacked the same way that Comicsgate comics are attacked? And I'm going to stop you there and say, when you say attacked, do you mean roasted? Like when a comic book comes out, it's viciously roasted? If that's what you mean, I would say that they are. Like all comic books get roasted from time to time, and sometimes it has a political bend to it, and sometimes it's just a good roasting. And so I think that's fair game. It doesn't matter if you want to roast a comic book, do it. If you mean too that it is the sales numbers that are attacked, and that certain books are, people try to like undermine their sales, I'm going to say that I don't care who does that. That's not cool ever. I don't think anybody should do it. So rather than it being, hey, they do this, therefore I'm going to do it too, that's just a bad way to live life. Just be cool. Next question is, I think this is Reno. Yeah. Why didn't DC learn, excuse me, why didn't DC lean into the popularity of Jon Stewart after Justice League Unlimited? And I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. No idea. Question number 2, he's got a 4-part question. Do any work-related discussions happen in indie comics in back channels? Printer problems continue, creators still operate under their name instead of creating a business name, etc. The answer is yes, of many. So there will be, I can just tell you in, with the people that I talk to, which are relatively few, we talk about printer issues, we talk about issues with colorists. Oh my goodness, colorists are a problem. If you're a good colorist, you should be promoting it because people need colorists. I've heard so many people lament about their problems with colorists. So that's one. It goes on and on. Honestly, it's like we're working with this person, that person, what it's like, how much are page rates, all that kind of stuff. This is super useful, and you don't need any kind of golden ticket to get in on those conversations. Like, just start developing a relationship with people that work in comics, that are doing indie comics, because they know the whole process from beginning to end. 3, why do comic creators refuse to cross-pollinate with other communities like history groups, gaming groups, board game groups? Then they whine about not finding new customers. That's a great question. I think the answer is because it's scary and hard. There is absolutely nothing wrong or nothing that could be lost by searching at other related communities like you're describing here. I do know of a few creators that have. Vaughn will say he has said that he's reached out to a horror community at large to promote his books. I don't really know what that looks like and how effective it is, but there are some that do it. Could it be done more? 100%. I guarantee it. Absolutely. 4, making videos is how you grow a YouTube channel, yet few creators are doing it. Why? There are probably a few reasons. One is that there is this prestige in the live stream format. That's because you get paid right away. You get to talk to the chat. Um, it is, it's just different. And the only way I could describe it is it at its best is prestigious if you can be a good live streamer. So I think that many people try to do that also because they're trying to replicate, creator A, B, or C who are successful at live streaming. Nick Rekieta, look at his live streams; they're absolutely insane, and he's massive. But that's the exception to the rule. I think for most people, if you're not good with just talking off the top of your head, like very good at it, and making it interesting for the chat, uh, regular videos are fantastic, and YouTube will promote them. So why more people don't do it, I don't know. Lots of good questions there. All right. Somebody is asking about Fatal. And so Fatal is going to be, I mean, we're really close. Honestly, Charlie's just he literally has not had a day off for about 3 months. So it's just insane. So when his schedule clears up, he's going to be able to hit Fatal harder, faster. But it's coming. So I really appreciate everyone's patience. Standardized scripts for comics, should it be a thing? No. I think that the beauty of comic scripts is that they don't need to be standardized. I think that if you're an artist, you're going to find a writer that has a script style and format that you prefer, and that's cool. But for a writer and from a writing perspective, I love having the freedom to do it how I want to. Mine are fairly simple. I consider my scripts to be pretty minimalistic, and some I've seen are just nuts. But if that's how you do your creative work and you communicate to an artist, then go for it. I don't think they need to be standardized. What is your ideal number of females on a superhero team? I have no number for that. I don't know. I haven't put that much thought into it. Um, Obviously, I I think if you're going to read about a superhero, they need to just be interesting characters. That's what it comes down to, and they could be whatever. If it's targeted toward men or boys, you're going to have more men and boys in it, and girls in that are going to have a little bit of a different role, because ultimately you're targeting one audience. If you're going to write a superhero story for women, then your team makeup is going to be different, and there's a place for that, absolutely. But I'm of the opinion that men and women are different, and we should embrace that. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, next question is, how about the fact that anyone can make a mini comic and sell with just a budget of $4.99 in a couple hours? I have yet to do this. I have no idea, but I will take for your word for it. That sounds awesome. Next question is, I think highlighting non-superhero comics would be cool. As someone with new comics and not interested in superheroes, I've had fun with other styles. Yeah, absolutely. I get bored of superheroes frequently. I'll go through phases. I'm less often interested in superheroes and more often interested in non-superheroes. So I totally get that, man. I hear where you're coming from. Next one is, can someone really stop you from enjoying comic books? The answer is, I don't think so, no. Someone can stop you from enjoying one particular series. Like, if you're following a series and it just gets terrible, the writer, artist, whatever the problem is, editor, is ruining that experience for you, and that's no good. But comics in general, if the people are making comics a pain, uh, you can get back issues. Like, go back to the stuff that you came for in the first place. Uh, Dance with the one who brought you. There's so many good back issues out there. There's just great comics. If someone's ruining it for you, just pivot. All right, comics. Is there such a thing as a bronze age of comics? The silver age only ended recently, and even that is arguable. Screw the leftists who need to control the narratives and reality. Excuse me, I'm still sick. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that there has generally been a consensus at least that you see online when you're researching comics. That'll say when things are Bronze Age, Silver Age, so on. I don't think it really matters. I'll go more by decade. So like to me, 80s comics had a particular style and feel. 90s had a different particular style and feel. Um, I have my own personal preferences, but I don't know. I don't know that it matters about what age they're from. Um, the importance of editing. And when does a comic book project become the vision of one writer or a collaboration? Where's the line? Oh my goodness. This is all about creative control. Editing is massively important. I've already made videos about editors. I'd say go back and watch those. I feel like I've talked about that a lot. When whose vision is it? Wow, that can be really different. It depends. There are definitely creators that demand more creative control, artist or writer. And so if you are the type of creator that likes to have creative control, then you might be really nitpicky about what's in the story, down to the character designs, everything. I try to have a balance that I feel comfortable with. If I'm writing a story, it's one level. Like if I'm hired to write it, I have a level of creative control, but I yield to whoever hired me. If I'm paying for it, if I'm financing it, um, I'm paying to play. Like I get to have more creative control because at the end of the day, it's my money on the line. So I will have more creative control. But even then, for me, I try to give artists more leeway. If there's something that's going to drastically change a story away from what it's supposed to be or be a problem, I'll correct an artist. Or if it doesn't line up with my values, and I'll have that pop up from, not a lot, but from time to time. And I want it to mesh with the kind of books I want to make. Then I'll ask for change. But other than that, I really try to say, here's the script. If it's important, it's in the script. If it's not in the script, um, or I'll even say specifically in the script, like, use your imagination here. And some artists are better or worse than others. But it depends on the project. And every single one of my projects has been a different balance as far as that goes. Fatal is one example. Is very much Charlie Snogans has a lot of creative control over that, especially because we're doing it Marvel method, which is fantastic because he's a genius. When it comes to Downcast, I have a lot more creative control because I have this whole thing planned out very well, and so that's a little different. Next question: has Marvel and DC overdone the partial reboots and continuous reboots of series? Um, in my opinion, yes. But as long as they're selling them, I suppose, or there's an appetite for it, knock yourselves out. The downfall of talented artists and good storylines. I think artists are just finding money elsewhere. So you're going to have talented artists that, I mean, you have to really love comics to be doing art in comics, because why would you? You could make so much more money working elsewhere if you're a very good artist. So that gets tough because they're not incentivized to do so. Storylines, I think, suffer from a different set of problems. Is that part of that is if you create a great story, now the company owns it. So you're incentivized to create your own stuff, but it's very difficult to get sales and stand out when you're doing an indie. So it's a tough game. Why so much valid criticisms of stories are routinely dismissed by the main character is considered to be a minority of sorts? I think it's just, you know, writers that are cowards. So they're going to hide behind something else. That's all it comes down to. Um, from the time I was just a kid to this very day, I buy comic books mostly for good art. Story is important, but it's a distant second to me, maybe even third if we insert attractive characters, or at least well drawn, to the list. So art, then story. So that's like level of importance for Aaron Olson. Um, it depends. I mean, I bought the whole Phil Noto run of Black Widow because I really love Phil Noto's art. I think it's just so cool. Um, the story was fine. Nathan Evanson wrote it. It was fine, but it wasn't. It didn't carry it for me. I had to have every one of those Phil Noto covers. They were just beautiful. Generally, though, like to me, it is it an interesting concept, and is it going to be worth my money for entertainment value? So I actually lean more into the writing myself at the end of the day. Okay, I think that's about it, or at least all that we have time for. There were a lot of responses, which is fantastic. If you have more questions for me, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to back Dracula. It's on Indiegogo right now. It's still a young campaign, but we want to get to those 300 backers so everyone gets that trading card up to that point. You don't want to miss out. And up, and away. We'll keep going. Thanks.